What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So without further ado, let's jump right on in. So Ghost Rider is receiving his uniform, and we got Sin receiving uniform. So let's just jump in. I think I'm just gonna split this up. I'm short on time before I have to run into work. Anyways, and let's take a look at the uniform for Ghost Rider. So where we at? Here we are. So first of all, yeah. I didn't think that they were going to be able to make a better looking uniform than the King of Hell uniform. And I guess it might be a little bit of preference, but this is popping. Like, yo, they went off on this uniform. The bike is just absolutely amazing. You can just look at the wheels. We got a little bit of weird thing going on there with the fire. When you turn it, oh, it does it to the back wheel and front wheel. Okay. But you look at the chains on him, you look at the spikes, he's definitely like a way bigger character model than he does inside the King of Hell. But this is a fire uniform. Like this looks absolutely amazing. The skull on there looks really good. One of the things that I always pay attention to is the hands. Him being so large, you can definitely see his hands. So like, with his hand just laid up on the top of the shielded plate over here, like this is crazy. Johnny Blaze, this damn thing changed. Really good looking uniform. I guess it's just really, you know, up to you, like which one looks better. But I remember this bike. You look at the size of this bike right here comparatively. You know, I mean, it was different bikes, you know, different characters, but this looks really damn cool. Like you gotta give it up to them for that. So what we want to take a look at real quick is I'm gonna take a look at the King of Hell's uniform, his skills, just so that we can take a look at those overall, and then we'll comparatively compare the skills. So first up, you know, he had a nice looking skill here. Matter of fact, let me turn off this, turn on the skill effects. Nice looking skills that he had overall. I think with the King of Hell uniform, they weren't bad at all. A little summon here that was pretty nice. Little chain hit, didn't really do a whole lot for you. And then we get fourth skill, which just had the bike show up and do some stuff for you. There you go. Little rain down some hell. The fourth skills are pretty cool. And then the fifth skill was just absolutely bonkers amazing, with like that damage on that fifth skill was just ridiculous. And then you see the tier 3, absolutely bonkers. And now he's got his tier 4, which just kind of sets him on fire, gives him that buff and everything. Nice and cool, right? So all right, so those were the skills that we basically had for. I could switch the uniform right inside there. I don't know why I didn't do that. So let's go back to the new uniform, his Rage Return, which I think everybody's going to be happy about. I did already see it, just mostly because I did it last night right before I went to bed, and now I'm just going to create the video. So let's take a look at his skill preview here. I think everybody's going to be excited about this skill. First off, just that little hell when he rips in, and me looking at this, like you can see the character model in full now with since, you know, without him being on a bike. And I got to give it up to them. Like the amount of detail in this uniform, the seasonal uniform, like from the boot spikes, the knee pad spikes, all the way to the change in coloration of the chain around his arm for you know, where like looks like maybe the fire is not fully there, but it's like embered and still hot. It looks absolutely amazing. Movement not too bad, a little slow, but you know, he's a big brute hulking character. So let's take a look at his skills. All right. First skill, probably not going to be inside this skill a whole hell of a lot. Let's be perfectly honest, right? There's not a whole lot on it. It's just a stun skill, and it doesn't look, you know, doesn't look bad, but he runs his chain. The hits do happen relatively slowly, but 23 hits on a 1 skill, not too bad. His 2 skill, remember, was the V-pad skill. I am a little disappointed in the V-pad skill though, because here it is right there. It's the bike. He jumps up and he does some damage in there. So it's not like it's necessarily a bad skill. And remember, it's a V-pad and you're getting super armor from this skill. So you're going to want to rotate into the super armor skill because it also increases all basic defense, right? So at some point, you're going to have to rotate into this skill to get it, right? So like, but the bad part about the skill is it doesn't last long. Like it might be one of the shortest V-pad skills I think you ever had. Like it really feels like the skill is more to get him away from things than it does like to get him to something. But because he gains the super armor in that skill, it might become useful. So just keep that in mind. You gain super armor on that skill and you increase all basic defense by 20%. So just if you're finding yourself dying in the rotation, or you know, we're gonna have to figure that out. So now let's take a look at his third skill, which I think looks absolutely amazing. Chains, send him up in the air, comes back down and just lights things on fire. I think the third and King of Hell was a little bit better, but this looks like pretty good skill. He's got the little short wind up. Now my concern with the third skill is that short wind up, because you notice he doesn't get the iframe animation until like 2 seconds into it. His heal is on that skill as well, but notice when the skill happens, right? So I guess it's relatively quickly. It's like a second after you trigger the skill, but it looks pretty cool, right? So on that third skill, you get his recovery, is important to note there, and you get the frenzy buff as well. So the frenzy buff of 21 and 15 is there on that skill. So now let's take a look at his fourth skill, because that's where a lot of the shit is. And don't forget that inside his fourth skill is where he also has the attack, the ignore targeting effect is inside of this skill. So 4 is in there, and you see the chainsaw that I think everybody's amped about. It looks really cool. Like the chainsaw is what really like sells it. Like it just looks really cool. Oh man, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately, and it was funny because they added the chainsaw in as like a animation from the old chainsaw, and they added the old Doom shotgun in there, and so I'm having like nice feels, but it looks really cool. Like on that fourth skill, like 40 hits, 50 hits on that fourth skill inside there, and the fourth skill is cancelable. So that's excuse me, you can't cancel on fourth skill. I lied. So got to finish on that skill, right? So then we get his fifth skill, right? And the fifth skill pops the fuck off. Literally pulls himself up like he's playing Castlevania with his own damn skull, and then the skull just rains down fire, and it is amazing. Cancel the skill, and then and it's a cancelable skill. The only thing that I ever hate about like those skills realistically is that we don't get the VFX from it, because we all turn off the VFX. We all go here, we turn off the VFX in our settings, and we play, and you know, man, they lose out from those effects. And so like if you don't look at the VFX, you don't get the really cool effect from the skull, and then the skill just looks plain. There we go, we can see it there. Like, so I think on most levels we're just gonna not see the skull, and it's such a cool feature. Like, man, it sucks just a little bit, you know. It's like, damn, like really like seeing that skull. Like it's a really cool skill, like it's really cool. And then we get his tier 3. Nothing's really changed here, you know. He's just roaring and, you know, hellfire. Like if you remember, that skill was just doing massive damage. And then his tier 4 inside here, where he's just on fire, it's just Captain America for what it is. So it's like I think Odin and him are the only ones that have the real visual effects on their uniform when you pop the tier 4, and I think the both of them, they look pretty cool inside there. So let's take a look at what their suggested combos are. So you've got 3, 5, and 4 basically rolling, 3 and then a slight delay, and then into 4. So like the 3, you can cancel it. So let me make sure that the VFX is off on this, so that way you can see when you have to cancel. So we basically roll into 3, and you're gonna cancel right before he jumps, I believe it is. It's like as soon as his chain goes up. So it's 3, yeah, so you see the chain goes up. As soon as the chain goes out his hand to start basically going up, you can cancel the skill. So really simple inside there, you know. 3, wait for the chain to go up, and then 5, and then 4. And as long as you see the chain come out his hand and start to make its way up, you're good to go. And the 5 skill, because it's instantly cancelable, you're good to go. And now pay attention to the damage amounts there as well, because it's pretty decent damage. So you go 3, wait for the chain to go up, 5, and then 4. And look at the damage numbers just climb over here. So really nice. 142 hits on 1 target. That's pretty decent overall. So the tier 3, when you're tier 3 up, you're just basically adding in 6, 3, 5, 4. But be aware that you do have a slight pause in your cancel for there. So there's slight pauses there if you notice. Like basically when the chains start to move around you, you cancel out of the 6, and then you have to hit the 3 and wait for the chain to go up, and it's going to be really hard to see. So you might want to get the countdown if you're playing as him. See the chains go, the 3, and then wait, and then go into the 4. So it's going to be hard to see. So it's like pretty much, I think it's like a 2-3 seconds. So just in your head, diddy bop the count, like 1, 2, 3 kind of deal, like, and then you can pretty much go. And both of them pretty much have like a 2 to 3 seconds. So as long as you get that, you're pretty good. Now, when the tier 3's up or the tier 4 is up, you just basically hit that, roll right into the 6, wait for the delay, go to the 3, go to the 5, go to the 4. And you can see the total hits here happening. Damage numbers 186. Now, here goes the thing about his kit that I want to make sure that you're aware of too. This is the first character that we've had in a while, I think, that hasn't had an accumulation skill on any of his skills. There's no accumulation whatsoever on his kit. Like, it's crazy. There's no accumulation on his kit. None. Like, if you go inside of his skills and you were to look at everything, his 3, his 5, his 4, his 6, there are no accumulation values. He gets the frenzy buff. He gets the chance to penetrate armor and everything there. He gets the increased basic damage by 150 on his 4th skill for the 1 attack. He gets the debuffs, the litany of debuffs right here. And then he gets to increase all basic attacks by 20, which is odd, right? Like at this point in the game. But even when you look at his 4, there's nothing there except the recovery effect. And then you get the increased flame damage by 10% of flame resistance. So we saw how powerful that could be with like Thor. When you use Thor's, you get his excuse me. What am I trying to say here? When you get Thor's fucking hell, his artifact. There you go. And he has the lightning resist that pops up, and it basically makes him a badass, right? So, and he is just almost the same way, where he increases his own fire resist for his leadership by 50%. So essentially what you have here is a build very similar to Thor without an accumulation on it, right? And now what makes him a little bit more exciting is that if you are able to get his artifact, which is, probably going to be a lot harder than stated. But if you were to get his artifact inside of here, then his artifact you'll be cool on, because his artifact is going to help him basically become immortal. And so he gets the carnage, treatment. Basically, when he's below that rate, his HP doesn't go to 1, and he recovers 50% of his HP. And he recovers equal to total instinct. So really, you're just getting the 50% HP, and then the HP not dropping, and you get the guard break immunity, right? So then the question becomes for me, when you start to look at things like his CTPs, the CTPs, for instance, which is going to be the better CTP, because he may be a two-way character, and it's going to be one of those things. Like, I don't necessarily think that the CTP of Conquest is going to work on him. Because I don't think you're worried about his recovery rate so much there. I haven't dropped my CTPs of Conquest on anybody as of yet. So I think I'm gonna leave him with the CTP of Rage for now, and maybe switch him over to a CTP of Destruction. I'm really trying to figure out what CTP to put on him. Right now I have a CTP of Rage equipped on him, but he's looking really, really good in my opinion. So what I want to do real quick, which I don't normally do with you guys for these videos, because it's not my thing, is to take a look at him inside World Boss. But I might do that in a separate video, because there's some other stuff I want to talk about inside here. So straight up off the bat right here is Sin, right? So Sin can only be purchased inside the store over here for 30 of these revenge tokens. You got to get the revenge tokens, and the only way for you to get these revenge tokens is to purchase items inside the shop. Then you've got the King's Helmet, the obsidian armor pieces inside of here. Collecting these obsidian armor pieces inside the event that will start after today's today's update. So like, when the game resets today, you'll be able to get these to go inside the Shield Archive, and the end reward is a premium comic card. So that's really good event inside there. That means you're going to be playing some Dimension mission, you're going to be playing some Dispatch missions, so you're going to need some energy. Like, just be aware of that. So the only way to get Sin is to get these. So one of the things inside the shop that you're always consistently looking at is what's going to be the best avenue of approach for you to get there. That's just the truth of the matter. So if you notice, even though the icon is not above the revenge tokens inside there, they're still available there inside the packs, right? So it's going to be one of those decisions, like, where do you actually go for this to get the items that you need, right? This, I hate to do this, man. I really do. This might be the best time, however. I hate this. So remember, at the end of the 7-day challenge, seven day week check-in, they're going to give you 10 tokens. So you could end up with just needing 20 tokens, and you could straight up go over here and maybe purchase this for a chance. Think about that. For a chance at a few levels inside of your team up collection for the Midnight Suns. Because remember, Ghost Rider is going to receive the bonus from the Midnight Suns uniform as well. You get the 1300 token, the 1300 crystals on this purchase as well. So basically, if you were to look at this, is like a $6 difference on these for what you're getting. So basically, for $6, you're getting the 90 tokens that can beef up your Ghost Rider a little bit more if you're really amped about it. And then the 20 tokens goes towards your purchase for the uniform for Sin. So essentially, you're getting the uniform for $6 instead of having to outright pay like the 20. And the reason why I say for $6 is because in this game is a real easy thing to understand. It's not like how it was inside Marvel Future Revolution, where they were just bending you over the rail and your purchases for your crystals were lower. Essentially, the economy here is every 100 crystals is equal to $1 inside the game. So if I was to compare the 20 to this, excuse me, I said $6, it's $7. $7 is the difference, because I'm getting 1300 crystals, and that means I can use that 1300 crystals on something else. So I'm essentially getting an economy of investment here. That's not bad, especially when you start taking a look at the tokens and you're like, I can use these tokens maybe to get at least maybe 3 levels, let's say 3 levels inside of the Midnight Suns team up collection. And therefore I can then like say, so this has some value, because not only is it going to apply to Ghost Rider, but it's also going to apply to recent characters like Moon Knight and Professor X, Doctor Strange, who are T4 characters now. So you get some benefit across the board to those type characters. Blade and all those other characters will get it. So this, I hate to say this, and trust me, I know there's gonna be people that are gonna like, that's bullshit, dude. Hate to say it, but this is probably your best avenue of approach, especially if you just want to wait for the 10 tokens that they're going to give you so you can purchase Sin. Now, beware, Sin's uniform, I've already looked at it, kind of popped off on her a little bit, but really she's going to be a Morgan Le Fay character. Good enough as a backup DPS character, but shines better in terms of her being able to receive her benefit is basically going to come from the character being able to be a support type character, similar to Morgan Le Fay. That's what she is. Like Black Bolt came out, Morgan Le Fay came out. Now the really weird part is that when Morgan Le Fay came out, Black Bolt was made a villain, and Morgan Le Fay really applied well to him in terms of giving him the support, because they're villains and she supported villains. Here that's not the case, because you get Sin and she supports villain allies, and Ghost Rider's not a villain, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So in that regard, I hate to say it, but this is probably your best purchase option in order to get the Sin uniform quicker. Now, If you want to be one of those day ones who's going to purchase the second potential realization, then you could go that route as well and pay the $49.99 and get that basically for a difference of probably like, what is it, like $25 is comparatively what you compare the value of these two, and you end up with a little bit more of these revenge tokens inside your wheelhouse. I don't necessarily see a reason that I have to immediately get Sin's uniform before they give me the 10 tokens, like I said, because when we start taking a look at the character, it's not really like a character that's like I feel like I have to have right now. Like I can wait the 7 days with her. Like it's not like she's having, especially at a tier 3, it's not like she's having the biggest impact on my game value. Now, you know, speed type female days, you know, she could play some big significance there, but I'm not like, you know, gooned up about that. And then we've got the Ghost Rider Hellfire chest that's inside of here. This is the option that I always usually vie for, to tell you you have a chance to get. Luckily, they don't have any BS items inside of you. You got a lot of tier 3 material type items inside here, which is good. More than likely, you're going to end up with a lot of gold. So if you're short on gold, not a bad thing. Bam, Nornstones of Chaos. Ugh. And then you got Essence of Dimensions and, you know, these. So it's not a bad item shop purchase here. I always tell people that, especially when you look at, there's 1,100 crystals inside of there. So you're getting over the weighted value of what you're basically paying in terms of crystals. So for $10, you're getting 100 crystals extra. And then on top of that, you're getting 6 of the chests inside of here. So 6 chests, whatever you get from in here is free. That's basically what it is. It's free. You're basically paying just for the crystals, and then you're paying for the tokens inside of here. So essentially, you're getting Sin's uniform for free because you're getting crystals for it by paying out. Always point it to tell people that, because it's weird how people will jump off and they will just say like, well, you got to pay for this. Like, yeah, you got to help support the game, guys. At some point, you got to pay. You got to invest in the things they're paying for. You go play football, you got to invest, right? You want to be on a football team, you want to be on a basketball team, you want to play video games, you got to invest. You got to invest at some point. No player is really free to play. The Mega Uniform upgrade ticket doesn't really have a lot of applicability in terms of like the characters that you're trying to level up here, so I don't suggest that one. And then you have the other ones which are just like standard fare, but just beware, like the token shop for this event, it just like, if you look at the token shop for this event, you're basically like, I don't know that I need to be concerned about anything from the Angry Pumpkin chest. Like there's too much shit inside of here for me to be concerned, especially like maybe if they removed all of the non-premium comic cards and the absorbing ESOs inside there, and it was just the rest of this, like tier 3 Odin's Blessings and Books of Ashanti and stuff like that. And yeah, maybe then, but I'm not taking the gamble on spending 15 revenge tokens to get anything out of this Angry Pumpkin chest. And who cares about the 50,000 gold for one? So in that regard, I'm just looking to get these items from where I need to get them from, and then dip on that and get them from Dispatch Mission and Dimension Mission, and then just get the Sin. And like I said, there's nothing really magnificent about her uniform. Like I'll dip into previewing the skills here. But like if you look at it, like she's got some like, I hate to say they did this to her, but like they're cool enough looking skills, without a doubt. You know, they're definitely cool enough looking skills, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna be good skills for the character. I am almost certain of it. But realistically, like, she's going to be what she's going to be. Wow, crashed on me. Her effects crashed the game, but not Ghost Riders. Give me a second. All right. Sorry about that. So going back to Sin, like, you know, overall, like her skills, they still feel very, especially after looking at Ghost Rider skills, they feel very, you know, blasé. So it's not like a whole lot there. She's got very simple, easy rotations. All her stuff is easily cancelable. Inside here, 6, 5, 3, 4 is all you got to do. 6, 5, 3, and then 4. There's no problem there whatsoever with the character kit. And she does some pretty decent damage. I just believe, and it's going to be a major upgrade for Sin no matter what. So it's not going to even be comparative saking about what you're doing for Sin. The thing is that Sin is going to mostly live with her ability to be a support type character. That's just the bottom line truth. You look at her artifact, it applies to all supervillain allies. So she basically gains the damage that's dealt to superhero and supervillain factions inside there. And then if you look at, they skimped out on her rare too. If you look at her passives, you see the increase to supervillain allies. She increases basic damage dealt to boss types, 55% inside there. And then her leadership doesn't even change. So yeah, that's what she's gonna be. Like the uniform effect only applies to her. So you're gonna be looking at using her for this passive. When you have supervillain allies, maybe Red Skull is gonna end up getting a tier 3 here, a tier 4 at some point, and then you end up seeing her get the benefits of that, where she's going to immediately jump in. But this doesn't apply to Ghost Rider, it doesn't apply to Doctor Strange, it doesn't apply to Moon Knight or any of the Midnight Suns, who are going to be the the big bads of this. Like at best right now, I could throw her on a team with Black Bolt, who's still relevant. Crazy to say that, but in terms of my villains in the game, so super villains that I'm currently using, that most people are using, you could throw her in there with these guys if you're using them inside World Boss, but I doubt most people are using these characters inside World Boss. You're probably using maybe these two and him. You can throw them on a team there and get that benefit from her. So I don't think there's a real reason to rush getting the purchase. Wait the 7 days, get the 10 tokens, and then realistically, I hate to say this, my path forward on it, I really do hate to say this, is to just purchase the Midnight Suns team up pack, so that way I get the 90 tokens from here, and then I get the chance at getting her for basically the $7 of spending on her, and then I roll from there. Like that has the best benefit for your account if you are a fan of any of the Midnight Suns and you planned on leveling up any of them. Like if you have Moon Knight, who with this team up is better than Black Bolt, not better than Black Bolt, better than Black Panther. If you were leveling up Doctor Strange, and now Ghost Rider, which I think a lot of people will be, and I think a lot of people will still level up Doctor Strange regardless. These characters have great use in terms of leveling up this team up collection. And then if you look at some of the rest of the Midnight Suns, like Dr. Voodoo, pretty good dispatch character clear now. And then you still have the likes of Iron Fist and Blade, who could receive some significant upgrades as well when they receive their tier 4s or their new uniforms. So overall, that's what I think. That's my first impression. I'm kind of messed up and didn't get do the world boss clear with him. Don't forget, there is an event inside of here for you to earn Thanos tokens inside of here, and to get inside this Tip Titan special chest that they have here, which has a whole host of items that you'll probably just end up with these 2 items over here and some energy, but it's there. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Until next time, guys, peace.